Yeah, that said, congratulations to everyone that has been shortlisted. Out of thousands of applicants, you've made it to the shortlist. So, it's something to actually be very proud of. Um, Before I begin, I just want to clear up a myth or a misconception about PTDF. A lot of people believe that you have to know somebody or it's through connection. I don't believe so. I didn't know anybody. Most of the people I've met here did not know anybody. So please don't allow the naysayers to get to you. So occasionally I'll be looking at I have a sticky note here with me because I have a tendency to say so much without saying anything. So I'll just start with my background. I have a BSc in biochemistry. I don't know if there are any biochemistry graduates in the room. I went to Now University in Abuja and I graduated in 2023. So went for my NYC in 2024 and I applied to PTDF in 2025. So for my group or cohort, I think the applications came out later than usual. From my research, I noticed that it comes out, or I heard that it comes out in early February, late February, but for some reason, I don't know, ours came out in late April. So yeah, I applied in April. My personal statement had my documents, and then I waited. So prior to PTDF, I had applied for so many scholarships, Commonwealth Shared, Commonwealth Masters, and I didn't have any luck. So when I applied to PTDF, it was honestly just like the last resort, and I didn't really put my hopes in it. Um, yeah, so I applied once. Now, after I applied for a master's in biomedical engineering. And you know, with the rules of how the essay is supposed to be structured, you're supposed to relate it to the um how it's going to benefit the oil and gas industry. Looking at biomedical engineering on the surface, you there's really no way to relate it, but I did my homework and I was able to come out with something reasonable. So my interview was on, I got the um, email for my interview, my invitation, I think sometime in July, no, in June. So I had 2 weeks to prepare for my interview, which held on the 16th of July. My interview was in Abuja, PTDF Towers. Um, I was scheduled for 9 a.m., but I didn't have my interview till 1 p.m., which I think is early because from the previous videos I had watched, some people said they were scheduled for 9 a.m. and they had their interviews by 8 p.m. So I think mine was um early, even though I had it like 5 4 or 5 hours later than the scheduled time. So how my interview panned out was obviously I got to the towers. I was put in a waiting room with a bunch of people, which can be scary, but don't let that discourage you, please. And then, you know, due process, I eventually got into the interview room. So my panel had 3 men. I think that was the first table by the right, if I can remember. And because I had watched previous videos, I already knew to not sit down unless I was told to. Even I don't know if that contributed to my success in winning the scholarship, but you know, from people's experiences, I just didn't want to give any loopholes. Um, Now what I'm about to say, honestly, is not to brag at all. It's just for context on on why my interview went the way it did. So I graduated with a first class. I graduated with a 5.0 CGPA. And when I got into the interview room, um, I was asked for my PIN. So there's the PIN that starts with MOS, blah, 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 blah. So um, when I gave my PIN, the first man on the left, um, opened my profile, and the man in the middle told me to sit down. And he was asking me for my documents. So he asked me for my BSc certificate and my transcript. And while he was checking, the man on the left said, "Oh, so you graduated with a 5.0 CGPA." And he was so shocked and impressed. And I think that just sets the trajectory of my interview till the end. Honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I had a bunch of questions. I don't think I didn't even have a conversation, because a conversation, two people have to interact, so more people have to interact. There was no interaction. I was just there collecting praises from three men. So yeah, that happened. And while the man in the middle was looking at my documents, the man on the left was just showering me with so many praises. And I remember the man to the father's right asked the man on the left, and he was like, "Oh, what do you mean she has a five? You mean she doesn't have a single B in her results?" And so, they were so impressed. And honestly, there was really no question. The only semi question that I was asked was, "What do you want to study and why?" And before I could even complete that sentence, the man in the middle said something else. And so I didn't really answer any question. And I remember at the end of the interview, they told me it was sort of like a giveaway that I got it, but I didn't want to be too sure. Because honestly, if I'd left the room, someone better than me could have walked in. So they said, "Oh, when you get to the United Kingdom, because United Kingdom was my first choice, um, they're like, make sure you make us proud, blah 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 blah." And I said thank you, and I left. So that was my interview, if we want to call it an interview. And so after that, I left. Obviously, I was very happy because I mean, three men praising me. um, I left, went back home, and I just waited. Now, the process can be a very nerve-wracking one. So, and it's one filled with so much anxiety. As I said, someone could have walked in after me with a better qualification or a better experience. Um, and so I just prayed honestly. At that point, there's really nothing that you can do. But what I'd say is, as much as ultimately God has the final say, I'm not about to turn this place a religious ground, but as much as God has the final say, just do everything humanly possible to not give any loopholes, because there are so many people that have a first class. There are people that have qualifications, experience, amazing experience. There are people that have done so many great things, and you're competing with honestly top people, great people, geniuses. So do everything in your power to make sure that you don't give any loopholes. You make sure that you put in your best and just leave the rest to God. So I got my the email that said that I was successful in September. So the results for my interview did not come out early, so I couldn't resume in September. And what I'm studying now was not the course that I applied for. So when I wanted to get my award letter, I was told that my course was not relevant to the industry, so I had to change, which is why I'm studying global environmental change and policy. It's a sustainability course, by the way, a course that deals with sustainability. Um, and so I resumed in January 2026. And yeah, that's pretty much how my PTDF process went. It was the interview was a smooth one, but the waiting period, the documentation, it was pretty stressful and filled with so much anxiety. Um, but I could do it without knowing anybody. I don't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. I still do not know anybody in PTDF. All I knew was my achievements, my grades, and God, and I put in my best. So that's why I said at the beginning, please don't let anybody tell you that you have to know somebody. You don't have to know somebody. Just put in your best effort and just leave the rest to God. Um, I think that is all I have to say. Okay, so I just want to say the documents that I was asked during the interview. I had two professional memberships. I had my BSc certificate. I had my NYSC certificate. I took two of my awards, even though I don't think they asked me for that. In case they just wanted me to prove the grades, I would show them. Um, and then I think for now, those are the ones that I can remember. So yeah, those were the documents that I was asked, and that was how my um, experience was with the PTDF process. So again, congratulations to everyone that has made it to the shortlist. just putting your best, putting your your best foot. Do not give any loopholes. Believe in yourself and believe in God, have faith in God. And I just want to say again, because I know how rejections can be, and as cliche as this sounds, I know you must have heard the rejection is redirection, but it actually is. Who knows? Maybe if I'd won the other scholarships, I wouldn't have met the amazing people I've met here. So even if at all you do not get it, don't let it define your worth or your intelligence or your yeah, intelligence really. Um, you could always try again. I applied once, some people have applied multiple times. So we all have different paths. Just put in your best and just leave the rest to God and pray. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.